stories of compassion and wisdom. And today's story is number 67, page 146. People who reduce everything to logic are not loved. Once there was a man who loathed anything that smacked of religion. I can't stand the sight of a priest, he used to declare. When I die, don't do anything stupid like hold a funeral. Just cremate my remains and scatter them from on high. Or if that's too much trouble, throw them in the river. But life is uncertain. Sadly, the man's only son met with an untimely death. The grief-stricken father bathed and dressed his son's body and then went to one of his detested temples. He bowed to the head priest and said, "Please put on a fine funeral for the repose of my beloved boy's soul." After the funeral, the boy's ashes were laid in the temple cemetery. It snowed that day. The man went up to his son's grave and tenderly brushed away the snow with his hand, then laid down some oranges and sweets he had brought. Placing his palms together, he said, "Son, you must be cold. Here, I brought you these. Eat up." He sounded exactly as if he were speaking to someone who was very much alive. He lingered by the grave for a long time, people said. Surely the man had not suddenly acquired a belief in the afterlife, yet something compelled him to behave as he did. Crushed with grief, he felt driven to arrange for a fine funeral and visit the grave. In fact, self-styled atheists frequently call on pastors or priests to perform wedding ceremonies or conduct funerals. They can't help themselves. In Japan, ancient Shinto prayers are recited at the launching of a nuclear-powered ship. To a disinterested observer, all this might seem strange, but there is something undeniably instinctive in the emotions. Reducing everything to sheer logic always alienates others because it ignores this deep-seated human trait. How much we miss out on life, how much we miss out on in life as a result. Okay, very good. This is another profound lesson here, encouraging us to practice the paramital wisdom by understanding the truth about human beings, which is humans, like it is said, we are rational animals, or we like to think that we are rational, but the animalistic instinct is always there. Yeah, biologically, yeah, we are animals, right? So biologically speaking, so we need to understand that if we just reduce everything to sheer logic, it's going to alienate people because, well, most people might not be very logical because emotions take a better hold of us. And somehow, as we learn the Dharma more and more ourselves, we go closer to the mirror of Dharma. We see the subconsciousness more and more, something from deep part of our existence that cannot be explained with logic or rationality. For example, we hear in the news, you know, there are police officers. They are hired to protect the citizens and to do good for the community. But once in a while, we do hear that same police officers actually might do the exact opposite, for example. Yeah, because some part of the subconsciousness is the part that we cannot control it by rationality. For example, intense desire for fame or status. If the desire is so raging, like flames of an inferno, then people become a slave to those desires, and they will bend the law or ignore the law, and then they suffer the consequences. So if we ignore this deep-seated human trait, we cannot connect to other people deeply. um, yeah. So, but as we learn the Dharma more and more, we begin to see the intensity of our own desires or anger when desires are not fulfilled. So we connect with the deeper part of our own mind, which we are trying to have it liberated from that suffering. Once we connect to that deep part of our own mind, we can also see the depth of that in other people, and our connections with others become deeper too, because we learn to accept this part of our mind, which is, even if we don't want like it so much, but we learn to accept it, and so therefore we can be more accepting and non-judgmental towards other people as well. And this will improve our relationships, and we can have a greater impact on others, as well as leaving a legacy that we can be proud of and content with and grateful about. So good job everyone for being here practicing together. Today's Monday, so we're going to have the Right View Lab at 8 p.m. Pacific time, hosted by me, and have a wonderful start of your week. Okay, goodbye.
Thank you.